As the divisive SNP leadership election continues to dominate the Scottish political news, we also carry on with making you guys more familiar with each candidate. Today, we're going to be talking about Ash Regan. So, the SNP. We have three candidates. We've already discussed all the issues around Humza Yousaf, the special man who is very much against free speech. He's against individual liberty. And he's had a couple of issues with double standards that's been exposed, especially when it comes to same-sex marriage and all the other cultural issues. We also talked about Kate Forbes. Kate Forbes is slightly more socially conservative, anti-woke. There was an attempt to cancel her. She's still leading in the opinion polls, which is quite fascinating. And the three candidates, and the third one is, of course, Ash Regan, who is less known compared to the others, to the other two. But the three have some similarities between each other, like each two of them, and at the same time, slightly different. So Ash Regan and Kate Forbes are more similar in regards to the anti-woke stuff. They're slightly more socially conservative. Whereas Ash Regan and Humza Yousaf also have more similarities because they want to continue some of the same agenda that Nicola Sturgeon was planning to do, especially when it comes to the Scottish referendum or Scottish independence. So let's talk about what Ash Regan wants to do. If you remember, a while ago, Nicola Sturgeon, especially after she lost her court case with the Supreme Court, she wanted to introduce a new plan so that if the SNP win the next election, then that will be de facto referendum and the Scotland will just leave the United Kingdom. Yeah, good luck with that. But even Humza Yousaf has now said, let's probably reconsider those plans. Kate Forbes is definitely against it. She wants to have a new conversation to renegotiate deals with Westminster. But Ash Regan wants to do that again. Ash Regan wants to completely not even do any negotiations or any referendums. She just wants to get into power and unilaterally leave the United Kingdom. But does she actually have a chance to win? Not sure. So she said that she would unilaterally declare Scottish independence if the party wins a majority of the votes and seats north of the border in an election. It's quite interesting because she's also pledged to fight every future Westminster and Holyrood election on independence and has claimed that a mandate for splitting the union if nationalist parties win the most seats. So, on this, when she was asked, by the way, what she would do if the Prime Minister refuses to enter talks, Regan said that it has nothing to do with the UK government and that she would declare independence anyway. I think she must become more familiar and she has to be introduced to something called British Constitution because while it's not codified, the whole of the Act of Unions and all the other stuff that's been overriding all the other issues in the past has completely taken power away from this sort of nuttery rhetoric. You can't do that. The whole system is based on the union, the kingdom that we call the United Kingdom. You can't just, it's completely illegal. You need to win the argument first, and that was Alex Salmond. Alex Salmond spent years improving the SNP, gathering support, winning the argument, and he finally managed to get the referendum from David Cameron as Prime Minister, and they did okay. But they still lost, obviously. It's not easy to convince all the people in Scotland that, yeah, let's leave the United Kingdom and join another union, the European Union. But these people don't actually think. It's absolutely fascinating how naive and stupid they are. So, she's also later actually accepted that there would have to be negotiations with the UK government. So what was the point of saying that? She said that I want us to move past this feeling where Scotland is always feeling that they have to go and ask for permission. Really? I mean, you think you shouldn't really be able to ask permission if you want to do things? She says we are a proud nation. I'm not really sure if that's a good argument, proud nation, because you're still part of the United Kingdom. This should be basic politics 101 from primary school, secondary school, and universities. The way the structure of the country works, or the kingdom. But clearly, if they don't know, because I think they knew from day one, people like Humza Yousaf, Nicola Sturgeon, and now Ash Regan, I really hope they know and they're lying. I prefer that. I prefer if they're lying. But if they really don't know how the system works, I am very worried about the future of the country. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.